Well, good morning. It's Sunday, the 18th of March, 2018. It is just after 9 a.m. We're on our way to the airport to do the first of three test flights to get the EDM 830 that we installed at Annual dialed in a couple of different ways. Today we're going to work on setting the power settings so that the percentage power that the EDM reads is the same as what the engine and combination engine manifold pressure is actually producing. And then we also got to start tracking what's called the K factor. There is a transducer in the fuel line that measures how much gas is flowing through it. Right now it's set at a baseline. We just need to fine tune it so that so many turns of the impeller equal so many a gallon, and that's what we're trying to get to. So it's going to be a long flight today, really going nowhere. We're going from Moline. I'm going to fly north up to La Crosse, Wisconsin, and then turn around and fly back. I'm not even going to land. I got to be in the air. The book says 2 to 3 hours. It'll be about 2 hours and 20 minutes round trip. At 70% power is where we're going to set it at. So weather, the reason I'm not I wanted to leave at 6 a.m., but we have freezing fog. So I don't know how well this is going to see, but there is a haze off in the distance. So I'm hoping over the next hour while I pre-flight that it burns off enough that I think the visibility and everything's good enough now to get up and out of it real quick. Forecast calls for this kind of crappy visibility until we just get over the river into Iowa, headed north, and then it's supposed to clear up. We'll see. Worst comes to worst, I can always deviate east and go up towards Milwaukee and back or something like that. That's about it. I'm going to talk about a couple of my favorite books today while we got the time. And I'm just cruising on this flight after I get everything set. So once I get everything fired up, set up, I'll get back with you. Bye. Well, good morning. Okay, we're in the airplane, and pre-flight went perfectly. Got part of this set up now with the new EDM 830. Just getting ready to call for my clearance. Weather is 6 miles visibility, so it has come up a bit, and that's good enough for me. We're going to go ahead and head north. The weather up north looks good as well.
This is Quad City Tower Envoy 3416 is on the visual for runway 27.
Envoy 3416, Quad City Tower, good morning. Runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27, clear to land, Envoy 3416.
All right, here we go here. So.
Quad City Tower, Cardinal 30853, runway 5, ready for takeoff.
Cardinal 30853, Quad City Tower, fly runway heading. Runway 5, clear for takeoff. Traffic is a Embraer 145 on a 9-mile final to runway 27.
All right, here we go. Test, test, test. Test, test. Okay, I can barely hear myself. Quad City clearance delivery, Comanche 6928 Pop at the South Tees with Juliet.
And calling out the South Tees, I missed it, I'm sorry, I was coordinating with radar, say again.
It's Comanche 6928 Pop at the South Tees with Juliet. I'm looking to do a VFR flight to the north, going to go up to La Crosse, Wisconsin and back, basically. Let's see, it'd be 4,500.
Comanche 6928 Papa, roger, understand, going up to La Crosse at, you said it was 6,500?
4,500, sir.
4,500, sorry about that. Roger that, I'll have a VFR clearance for you in just a moment, sir.
Roger, stand by, 6928 Papa. Well, this is the first. I've never had to wait for a clearance out of here. It must be a jet or something across the way. This is what we're going to attempt to settle today. Or, well, we're going to start settling the fuel flow, and we're going to get the horsepower percentage set.
Cardinal 853, climb, maintain 5,000.
Go ahead and pull forward a little bit.
Cardinal 30853, contact departure. Have a great day. Comanche 69er 28 Papa, maintain VFR at or below 4,000 and expect higher with departure. Departure frequency 125.905, squawk 6540.
At or below 4, expect higher later, 125.95, 6540 is my squawk.
Comanche 28 Papa, read back correct.
Roger, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Got a rattle. Yeah, just a rattle. Okay. GPS is set. Transponder is set. Lights for the taxi are set. The directional gyro is correct. Comm radios are set. Got ground. Have radios.
Envoy 34.
Don't worry about
16,
airspeed
taxi
0.
to the terminal
Altimeter.
via Juliet Hotel Charlie, cross runway 13 and remain this frequency. Have a great day.
46 0 0 7. PSI is set. Flaps are up. Trim is set. Landing indicator is green. Brakes we've just checked. Taxiing checklist. And let's go to ground. Pull up my plate. Quad City ground, Comanche 6928 Pop at the T's, looking for permission to taxi to the active.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City ground, runway 31 at Kilo 12, taxi via Kilo, Windscom.
Kilo to Kilo 12, hold short of 31, 6928 Papa. All right.
Comanche 28 Papa, I missed it when you called. Do you have information, Juliet?
Affirmative, sir, I do have Juliet.
Roger.
All right. Clear on the right and the left.
Wisconsin 3926 Quad City clearance cleared to the Chicago O'Hare Airport as filed. Maintain 4,000.
Our desired track is 346.
1,000, 10 minutes after
and we're climbing to 4,500. Once we get up there, we'll use this to enrich in the mixture.
4311.
The best power. Then we will get everything stabilized, and we'll work on
3926. Read back
this checklist to get the power setting done. And then it's just a cruise. I want to talk about a couple of books
John Deere 59 with
that I brought with that I can show you what they look like. They're two of, I think, the basic books that everybody, not a bad idea to read.
Available for a little bit. We have a Skyhawk. They're about a 9-mile final for runway 27. I mean, I can give it to you if you want to wait for them for our opposite direction. Otherwise, it might be faster to take 27.
Oh, we'll take 27. That'll be fine. John Deere 59er.
John Deere 59er.
The John Deere's over there. You're just going to see him off in the distance.
Hotel
That's
Charlie
the corporate
Alpha,
jet. That's the corporate hangar.
Runway 31 and the runway 23 approach.
My family farm, but we were never rich enough to afford the green paint, so.
Hotel Charlie Alpha.
Doesn't mean I'm not proud of them, you know.
Cleared across runway 31 and 23 approach.
right.
Cessna 90347 Tango Quad City Tower, runway 27, clear to land, wind calm.
Well, I hope this records. Last time I had a problem with the sound, so I'm hoping that that's taken care of. Otherwise, maybe nobody sees this. We're going to pull a cabin vent on here. Air in here. That sunlight in this little cockpit is just enough to warm it up nicely. It's only, what is the outside air temperature here? Oh, hell, that's on the inside. 30, and in the cockpit, 67 degrees according to the thermometer. Outside is probably 32, 35.
47 Tango Roger. I have an IFR for you guys back to Lockport. You filed Wynet Victor 8 Jolly at Lockport. Did you want to pick that up on the go? Cessna 47 Tango. Say again about the intersection. Cessna 47 Tango, Roger. And runway 27, clear for the option. After the option, fly runway heading and maintain 3000. You can expect your IFR on the go with me.
All right, we got to come up here and do our run-up. Our run-up is a little bit different because we don't have a key any longer. We got switches that control electronic ignition and a magneto. All right. Clear what we got here. Back over to the checklist. And we're coming up here to Kilo 12. We'll go off on 3-1, which is back over my left shoulder.
Wind calm.
Over the top of us, there's a weak high pressure. It's not a strong high pressure. And by, probably 7 o'clock tonight or so, it'll be pushed by a low that's coming in, and we're going to have rain and stuff, I think, tonight. So this was a perfect day to do a test flight. A little rusty. I've flown twice in the last 3 months. It was in, flew it to annual, then it was in annual, flew it home. All right, here we go. So a nice day to kind of put the toes back in the water, and good reason to fly because I got to get this thing dialed in before the summer's flying season. All right, we'll hold short of 3-1. Set the brake. Brakes are set, doors and windows closed and locked.
About a mile final,
Flight controls free and correct. Flight instruments. Good, that looks good. That looks good. That all looks good. Mixture rich. Throttle 1500 RPM. So our new gauge here. And we'll cycle the prop. There's 1, RPM drops. 2, manifold pressure increases. And now we're looking for a wiggle on our oil pressure, which is now here. Yep, see it kind of got a half a second delay, and that one wiggled as well. These are our primary instruments, our primary engine instruments. Okay, now we go 2,000 RPM. Make sure we don't creep. Turn on my noise canceling. Okay, there's 2,000. And we go magneto. There's a drop. Back on. Now it takes a half a second. It comes back up. Or that was the EIS. Now the magneto. Not much of a drop at all. A little bit of a drop. Comes back up. And we check carb heat. Gauges. Engine instruments. Oil temperature looks good. Sounds good.
Back to back to idle.
Cessna 90347 Tango, one able, fly heading 230.
Good idle.
Traffic citation will be departing runway heading behind you on runway
1,000
27.
RPM. Fuel pressure, everything looks good. Pre-takeoff checklist. Circuit breakers.
John Deere 59 Quad City
All in.
Tower, fly runway heading, runway
Radio
27.
set to tower.
Clear for takeoff, traffic's the Cessna on the upwind, turning at 230, heading off 27.
Next frequency is set.
59. Runway heading.
Trim, final check. Primer is in and locked. Carb, prop,
Cessna 90347
throttle and mixture.
Contact departure
Flaps
and
are
they'll
up.
have the
Floor is
the
clear.
IFR back to lockport for you.
Pitot
And,
heat,
departure
we're
will
not
be,
going to need.
125.905.
Transponder
And
is on alt.
Going to 125.
Fuel boost pump.
For our IFR.
Landing, taxi.
9247 seconds.
Thanks.
Strobes. Okay, we got to hit the boost pump.
Quad City Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa, Kilo 12 and 31. We're ready for takeoff, sir.
Comanche 6928 Papa Quad City Tower, Roger, standby, traffic citation departing runway 27.
Have eyes on the citation, standing by, 31 and Kilo 12.
I said there was a Cessna 172 coming in, but I don't... Oh, wait, he gave it a heading. Maybe he sent it that way. Yeah, I think I did hear him say something about
Comanche 6928 Papa, fly runway heading, runway 31 at Kilo 12, cleared for takeoff.
6928 Papa, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff, runway 31.
Okay. Fuel boost pump on, lights. Mixture is rich. Prop is full forward.
John Deere 59, contact departure, and have a great day, sir.
John Deere 59, departure, good day.
All right, line her up. And on the gas. Everything sounds good. That's full throttle. Lock the throttle down. Right rudder. We're going to rotate it at 80, right about there. Fly it off. Positive rate of climb, gear coming up. Might see a little burble off that citation, but the air is sinking. Yeah, I think we're all right. There we go. We're through him. We're at 100 miles an hour. We want 105. We're in a cruise climb. Exhaust gas, cylinder head temperatures, that all looks good. Oil pressure looks good. Wants us on runway heading. All right, let's slide into a cruise climb.
Comanche 28 Papa, contact departure. Have a great day.
28 Papa, over to departure.
1875, John Deere 59.
Quad City departure, Comanche 6928 Papa, indicating 1,600 in the climb.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City departure, radar contact, climb to VFR requested altitude.
6928 Papa, heading 310, climbing to 4,500.
Comanche 28 Papa, you can turn right on course lacrosse.
Right on course for cross, climbing to 3,500, or correction, 4,500, 6928 Papa.
Okay, we're headed direct lacrosse, so direct, or it's ODI.
6456 Papa, you can contact
Activate.
tower on 119.4. Have a nice day.
Load the route. And we want, right, well, we're by it a little bit. Okay, we're in our cruise climb. Right about there. Now, we've got a new autopilot, right? So we're going to go autopilot on. Heading bug, click it here, GPSS on. And now I just control altitude. Power is set. Let's go ahead and back this off. Actually, that is 2,500 RPM already. But it sounds too much. There we go. leave it into full throttle, climbing to 4,500. We're going to go right up and over the top of Davenport Airport. Gauges all look good. Cylinder head temperatures look good. Number 5 looks a little cold. That was the one we replaced. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and turn off the fuel boost pump. Fuel pressure's holding. See, this is off. It says I'm 73% of horsepower. So we know that's not correct because I'm full throttle. If this plane was capable of 1,000 foot per minute climb at 73% horsepower, boy, it'd be a much more popular aircraft in certain circles. All right, we're coming up on 3,800. Everything looks good. $4,200 for $4,500. Everything looks good. Cylinder heads look good. Exhaust gas is, well, it's kind of all over the place, but I'm learning. Coming up on 4,450. Let's go ahead and start leveling off. And then we'll start accelerating. Dial in a little nose down trim to take some of the pressure off. There's 4,500. We're accelerating. And our power setting, 4,500 feet. We want, let's see, we want 70%, and I did this calculation beforehand. Let's go close this. 22.823. So, back it off, 22.8. That looks about right. 2,300 RPM. Now it's going to creep up. (2,300 RPM). Reset the 22.8. According to the gauge, is right about there. And the GPS is flying her.
Cardinal 30853, contact Rockford approach 126.0. Have a nice day.
Okay, contact Rockford approach 126.0853.
Okay, there's 22.8. Now we're going to lean it out. So we're supposed to come up to speed here. Go ahead and put on altitude hold. And set up a second checklist. Okay, 23. Okay, we start leaning after the temperatures stabilize. And I'm looking for EGT here. Number 1 or number 3 looks to be my hottest EGT. So we're gonna back it out. I want to see the EGT. I'm guessing got to go to 50 degrees, rich of peak, and I'm guessing about 1,400 is going to put us there. We're going to lean, lean. And we're going to give this a second now. 1400, we're going to give this a minute. And well, I learned to do this a little bit better. I have a cheat sheet here. It looks like that's all stabilizing. Alright, so rich a peak is this one. We pre-lean the mixture. Now, it's been about a minute. Temperatures look like they're stabilizing. We tap lean fine. And it should say rich a peak down here. We lean the mixture until the column flashes and it says leanest. That'll tell us what, and then we say, oh, we look at that and we add 100 degrees. Rich a peak, correct. Now we're going to start leaning. Nice and easy. There's leanest. So number one is leanest at 1420. Okay, 1425. So we're going to now richen it to 1325. $13.25. That kind of catch up here. There's 50 degrees.
Skyhawk 47 Tango, and sorry about that. Reset your transponder, Squawk 4324.
Roger, Squawk 4324 for Cessna 9.
75 degrees. It's nice that it was on a nice little round number like that. 1325. It's not coming off for 1325, is it? That's almost full rich. That is full rich. I can't. That could be. Go 75 degrees here until I get this dialed in. 1350. We're not going to be doing best power, but we'll be close. Right about there. Okay, so at 75 degrees, rich a peak. Let's go ahead and switch fuel tanks. Fuel boost pump on. Right main on. Left main off. Fuel pressure is holding. Fuel boost pump on. Okay, so reset the timer. And that should have been roughly 7 gallons. Get a little heat going in here. Should have been roughly 7 gallons out of the left tank. So it should give us 19 left in the left tank.
Comanche 28 Papa, contact Chicago Center, 133.905. Have a nice day.
6928 Papa over to Chicago Center. Thanks, guys. I should be back in about an hour and 20 minutes. Good morning, Chicago Center, Comanche 6928 Papa, level 4,500.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Chicago Center, welcome, maintain VFR at all times, the beak altimeter is 3004.
Maintain VFR 3004, 6928 Papa.
Medevac 710 Bravo Bravo, descend to maintain
4,000,
14,000, Oshkosh altimeter is 3003.
04. Okay, so let's check our airspeed. We're going to come here to the E6B, and we're going to calculate, okay, we're going to calculate, let's see, I think for airspeed, if I remember right.
Station Air, November 909 Sun Bravo Tango, off the ground, Yankee 51, Baroqua, IFR Dubuque, request clearance. And 997 Bravo Tango, Roger, squawk code 2411. Maintain VFR for now. 2411, maintain VFR, 7 Bravo Tango. 1873.
Okay, so that's all, let's see, I need the pressure altitude, density altitude.
The airport's in sight, 73 Mike.
73 Mike, Roger, radar services terminated, squawk VFR, advise you contact Butte Tower on 119.5.
So let's go over here to, let's go over here to the E6B.
997 Bravo Tango, I got your radar contact about a half mile, or I'm sorry, 2 miles south of Dubuque Airport.
100.
Clearance here shortly.
Altimeter setting 3004.
51 Baroqua, I'm assuming some Bravo Tango.
Okay, our pressure altitude is 4,300 feet. Our density altitude, outside air temperature, is exactly 0.
Yankee 51 Baroqua, IFR to Dubuque. 997 Bravo Tango.
3,600 feet.
Cleared to Dubuque Airport via direct, climb and maintain 5.
So,
cleared
3,600 feet.
5,000 Bravo Tango.
I should be seeing, let's see, 3,600. About 171 miles an hour at 70%. And we are seeing,
North Country 7, clear direct Traverse City Airport.
what is it, pressure altitude was 4,000.
And did you have any other requests?
Pressure altitude 4,300. Temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, so 4,300, 0. I am seeing 164, so the electronic ignition might have actually made a small difference, maybe 3 miles an hour difference at this power setting. I'm happy with that, actually.
North Country 7, contact Chicago Center 133.2.
All right. Let's double check. Calibrated airspeed is 150. Let's see, you got to add 157. 143 knots. And 70% horsepower. I'm happy with that. 165 miles an hour. Yeah, it all's checking. I'll take it. So whatever we did with that electronic ignition. Okay, so we need to set this now. So we're all dialed in. Just going over Maquoketa, Iowa. Air is smooth. I'm going to loosen up my seatbelt here a little bit.
997 Bravo Tango. Tango is current at Dubuque.
Liking that. Okay, so
you can plan a visual 3-1.
Now,
okay, we'll advise and plan for
we've got everything set. 70% horsepower. Now we need to come back here. We hit, prior to takeoff, we did that. We type step until you see the horsepower adjust. So hold both of these together. It'll say program. We're not going to refuel, so we say no. We don't need the software info. We have our tack time. We have the airframe. Auto scan, trip node. EGTs are in degrees. Outside air temperature is in Celsius. Okay, this is what we got to adjust. Horsepower constant. Okay, so we need to edit this to where this up here currently says 60, we're at 70. So we need to edit this, hold both of them together. And we're going to adjust it now. I don't know which way.
348 Yankee Chicago, welcome.
107.
7000.
Okay, so I got to hold it.
Green Bay Airport.
I want that to say 70%. That says 68. That says 70. So our horsepower constant needs to be 125.
Delta, contact Minneapolis Center.
That is awesome.
124.4.
All right. We hit save. Perfect. Now we go next until it says end. Next thing we got to do is this K factor, but we got to do 3 flights before we do that. And for some reason, my carburetor temperature gauge is not working.
4568 Chicago, climb maintain, flight level 190, leaving 10,000 at normal speed.
So we're going to have to go up to Cliff. Before we do any IFR, I got to know what my carb. I like to know what my carb temp is. So let's make a note. Carb temp is not working.
Chicago, station air 997 Bravo Tango has Tango at Dubuque.
Roger, thank you.
All right. Okay, so we have to schedule something with Heritage to get that straightened out. So I got gallons per hour used, remaining, required to our next waypoint. Oil temp, oil pressure, and then the zero, it says 0 CLD. That's for shock cooling, which I don't know if I believe in or not, but we'll say we do. Why we got the, I mean, it can't hurt anything, right? Okay, so we're done. We're done with our testing. We're set. Now we just kind of cruise along. I'm happy, very happy with the speed. We have to cruise at 70% so that we get the K factor done correctly. And on our way back, we're going to be 1,000 feet lower. So we'll need to readjust some stuff there, but that's all right. I did not set this. Did I screw that up? Let's see here. Well, I don't know because of carburetor temperature I don't have. I can't tell you. But it shouldn't be too much.
710 Bravo Bravo, contact Milwaukee approach 127.0.
All right. So let's talk about the books. That way I can, you guys won't have to be bored just sitting here watching me. All right.
Center, hello, flagship 541, 300, descending 240.
There are 2 books
Flagship 541
that I consider great starter books. The first one you've heard me talk about before. It's Stick and Rudder by Wolfgang Longovich. I think I'm pronouncing that right. So this is a great book for a learning private pilot. It is, the language in it is a little archaic because it was written back in the 30s.
325 Chicago Center, roger.
So they call, you know, like the elevators, he calls them flippers. And there's some stuff like that. But it's really a great book that tells you in very plain language, it tells you in very simple plain language what the airplane is doing when you know, what the control surfaces do, what the you know, like what rudder is for, and aileron, and what is the airplane doing, what is the wing doing as it's flying. And it lays out in very concise terms the important things that you have to pay attention to as a pilot to avoid, you know, the dumbest thing that people do is okay, we're just west of Dubuque, is they stall and spin the aircraft. So that's book number 1, really worth reading, I promise you. Very informative. Book number 2 is the one that I only read finally this year, or last year. It's Flying the Weather Map by Richard Collins. This is a great weather primer. So, you know how you look at the prog charts and you look at where the highs and lows and fronts and all the rest of that is? Well, this book basically tells you what kind of weather you can expect to see if you just look at the map. It's written really well. It has some stories that he recorded, the weather when he was flying and what the weather map looked like and what he saw in the air. You know, it's and it's different by seasons, by the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. And it's just a really good overall picture of what to expect when you're looking at a weather map. From this, then, you can expand outwards, because I was getting swamped when everybody said, "Oh, you got to start with a high-level picture." And I look at the prog chart. I'd look at the you know, the weather map, and I'd go, oh, okay, there's a high, a low, a front, but I didn't know what it meant. It wasn't until I read this I started going, oh, okay, I expect to see this here. I expect that the weather's going to be like here. And so then you can start digging in and saying, well, is that actually what's happening, or is there something else? So it gives you a starting point, I guess, on what to expect. So Flying the Weather Map by Richard Collins, and I think the first book everybody should read is Stick and Rudder. This is a great one, I think, when I was a private pilot, just getting my private pilot's license. It explains a ton about the different speeds of the airplane. He calls it the gates like it was a horse, you know, but hey, the working speeds, the different stuff is really good. And this is a good weather starter. And then from here you expand. I mean, weather you can study. I read book after book after book trying to understand it. And I downloaded a new app. I subscribed to a thing called Weather Sport. I'm trying that. You know, I'm always trying to better my weather knowledge, because even with an IFR clearance, you know, weather is what we're in. So everything is looking good here. I'm going to leave you guys with that. I'll turn the camera back on a couple miles back from home, because literally now I'm just going to cruise. I got 37 minutes until my turnaround point, and then it's going to be an hour and something back. So not a very exciting flight. I'll turn the camera back on when I'm approaching back into Moline, because I like to record the landings. That's really the reason I'm doing this. Somebody asked me about the autopilot. I will do a video later on this. Right now with the GPS steering, I'm in heading mode. The GPS is tracking it. I'm 0.8 nautical miles right, and this autopilot always flies slightly right of course. It's done it forever. So that's about it. I'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.
Turn left heading 320.
Okay, we're back.
47 Juliet, turn left heading
We just got turned back over to Quad City Approach. We are... Oh, what are we? 19 minutes out. To the Quad Cities.
37 Juliet, Quad City Approach, Quad City altimeter 3002. Fly present heading, vector to the, expect vector for the ILS, correction. Expect visual approach runway 27.
Roger, I'll pass visual
controller.
for 27, and I have Lee.
November 37 Juliet, roger.
Quad City Approach, Comanche 6928 Pop, 41 miles north of the field, inbound full stop landing.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Approach.
9 or 5.
Right downwind for runway 27.
Right downwind for 27, 28 Papa.
John Deere 59, read back correct.
Status.
Quad City Airport information, Lima, 1652 Zulu, wind 300 at 3, visibility is 10, sky is clear, temperature 9, dew point -1, altimeter 3005. Visual approach in use, landing departing to runway 27, advise on initial contact, you have information, Lima.
Lima.
Cessna 4 Bravo Charlie, read back correct. What's the altimeter 3002?
Well, it's definitely hazier down here. I hope everybody can hear me. The test has been good so far. I did make one small mistake, and I reset something on here which rebooted the system and it took away my used, but it still kept remaining, so I'm just going to have to do a little math. Before I shut down, I'm going to have to get that figured out.
Scoop 94174 Quad City clearance.
17 minutes out, we're at 5,500.
Departure frequency 133.27, squawk 0362. 47 Juliet approach.
47 Juliet, this will be a full stop, sir.
That's not 47 Juliet, roger.
That's me on a left downwind for 27. Got some prior planning here since I'm going to go right over the top of Davenport. I don't want to start descending early because
That's not 47 Juliet, turn right heading.
I don't want to be at pattern altitude at Davenport, crossing over it.
Descend at 2,300 if possible.
That's not 47 Juliet, VFR altitude, your discretion.
Altitude, our discretion, right 180, 47 Juliet.
Autopilot's worked good the whole trip. It's tracking the GPS. The GPS steering is working good. So I'm really quite pleased. I got some more. There's the carburetor temperature gauge isn't working here. I think I mentioned that earlier. I got to call him. And my number 5 cylinder, that's the cylinder that we replaced, is colder than the rest, and I'm wondering why that is. So I'm going to talk to Tim about that. But other than that, I mean, for a shakedown flight, it's running smooth. It's running a couple miles an hour quicker than what it was before. So maybe that ignition actually did something. I did find,
That's not 47 Juliet, 4 miles from Cave.
I think my tachometer is off 100
VFR, cleared ILS runway 27 approach.
RPM,
Right 240, maintain VFR, cleared for
or about 80 RPM, I guess. At least according to this thing. And that thing is running off the mag, so I believe it.
37 Juliet, descendant pilot's discretion, maintain 3,000.
Roger, 37 Juliet, leaving 643.
Do have a target without ADS-B over here to the left of us. Quite a ways out though. Almost 7 miles. Been a smooth flight, got a little bumpy up by La Crosse. Nothing, no major. I think it was just thermals more, basically thermals. There's a snow line still up there. There's a little snow in the crevices of the terrain. We don't have that down here. Temperature's warming up a little bit. Do one more tank switch here in about 2 minutes. We'll switch over to the right. Main.
147 Juliet, contact tower 119.4.
119.4, thanks for your help and great work today.
We got tower, we got ground.
Thank you.
Let's go through our pre-landing checklist. So we've got the ATIS. Don't need an approach plate. We're going to do a GPS. We don't need to worry about comm radios are set. Altimeter is set. Heading indicator is always set now. I got to probably check that. We don't have an approach timer. Fuel selector we are going to get right now. Boost pump on. Right main on. Left main off. Boost pump off. Fuel pressure is holding. Let's record that. So that was 4 gallons, so that would leave me 8 gallons. No, 7.
18 Alpha Romeo, contact Rockford
7.5 gallons in the left.
0 and advise them of your type aircraft and
We
destination.
got 11.5 in the right.
Very good. Going to 126.0 and I'll let them know flight destination and aircraft type. Thanks for the help. Catch you on my way back. 8 Alpha Romeo.
See ya. Mooney 24 X-ray, contact Cedar Rapids approach.
We'll come up on our top of descent where we want to start our 500 foot per minute descent.
724 X-ray, good day.
Good day.
Visibility's just about 14, 15 miles. I can see Davenport. Alright, let's go ahead and start getting set up for our descent. We're going to take the autopilot off. PS off. We're going to pull about an inch of power and we're going to start slowing down. Without descending, we're just going to start slowing the engine down, start cooling the engine off. Moline in sight. We got the ATIS. Go back to 18 inches. Go ahead and start our descent. Be about 500 feet a minute is what I'm looking for. A little trim for that. There it is. All right. Fuel selector's on the fullest tank. Before landing checklist, let's go ahead and execute that. Seat back, shoulder harness upright, secure, emergency gear lever is clear. Carb heat.
37 Juliet has the airport.
Got that. Gear selector, we'll work our way down.
Juliet, cleared visual approach,
Do our gumps.
Roger, clear for visual 27.
Flaps. Pre-landing checklist is complete. All that's left is gumps.
Cherokee 37 Juliet, traffic 1 to 2 o'clock, 3 miles southbound, altitude indicates 1,800.
Roger, look for it.
Cherokee 37 Juliet, that traffic is now northbound, 1,100. They appear to be maneuvering just off your right side at 3 o'clock.
Keep adjusting the manifold pressure as we're descending.
I'll stay at 3,000.
Because as you descend, the air gets a little bit thicker and that manifold pressure goes up, and then you're making more horsepower than what you really want to make. I want to keep the speed something reasonable. Not sure how bumpy it's going to be down there with thermals.
Cherokee 37 Juliet, that traffic's no factor, now northbound, about 5 miles north of your position.
Very good, fine, thanks.
It's starting to get a little bumpy. So we're going to slow down. Didn't get too bad, but pull off a couple more inches, but I'm going to keep my rate of descent the same. So pull off a little bit more power, which if I don't mess with the rate of descent, will point the nose down a little bit more. But we're going to keep the rate of descent the same and just slow down is all we're doing. That keeps the pitch angle, the correct pitch angle for that airspeed, and then we just let her slow down. Basically, it goes downhill slower.
Aircraft 94174, Quad City, departure radar contact. Climb to requested VFR altitude, proceed on course, and say altitude. Aircraft 174, what's your current altitude? Roger. Command 228 Papa, when you're 5 miles north of the airport, expect vectors. You're number 2 for the field following a Cherokee, currently on a 10-mile final for runway 27.
6928 Papa, expect the vectors 5 from the field. I do have the field in sight.
Cherokee 28 Papa, roger.
Running some RPM here.
Cherokee 37 Juliet, contact tower 119.4.
Roger, thank you.
119.4 set, ground is set. There's a barge moving upriver. So I can tell you there's very little ice going up there. Okay, we're at about the 5-mile ring. Okay, there's 1,900 feet. Pattern altitude is 1,600 feet.
Comanche 28 Papa, turn left heading 120.
28 Papa left 120.
Okay, we're going to stop the descent. Bring it up to 18 inches.
Comanche 28 Papa, out of the turn, the traffic will be at your 12 to 1 o'clock, 5 miles westbound, and 2,000 feet, descend for runway 27.
6928 Papa, I'm looking for him, sir.
Over here slightly.
Comanche 28 Papa, the traffic now on a 1.5 mile final, 1,400, and it's about your 2 o'clock.
I'm still looking, sir. He's probably against the trees. I'm not going to be able to see him.
No problem.
$6928 Papa, sir. I have the traffic.
Comanche 28 Papa, roger. Follow that traffic. Contact tower 119.4.
Following the traffic over to tower. 6928 Papa. Quad C Tower, Comanche 6928 Papa. Following traffic's on short final for 27.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City Tower, runway 27, clear to land, wind 140 at 6.
Clear to land, 27, 6928 Papa.
Okay, gas. The undercarriage here. Gas undercarriage. Undercarriage coming down. Mixture. In, prop. In. We're gonna need a couple notches of flaps here. I mean, probably 3 because I'm a little bit. 100, that's first notch. Second
Cherokee
notch.
37 Juliet, turn left at November, contact ground point 9 or 1 off.
Roger, thank you.
Turn final. For 90 miles an hour. Wind is a little bit of a, I think he said it was 1306. Maybe a little bit of a tail. Gas, undercarriage, mixture, prop. Bumps. We're high. Full power. Go ahead and put the third notch in, get as much drag out as we can. Gas, undercarriage, mixture. Put a slip in.
Hey, this information, Mike is now current. Landing, departing runway 9er.
Okay, we're across the fence at 80. Landing is 75 today. A little bit more power. 80. 80. Let's go back it off to 75. There's that tail. All right. That was a little rough.
Comanche 28 Papa, turn left at, no, correction, turn left at Echo, contact ground point 901 off.
Left at Echo, over to ground when I'm off, 6928 Papa.
All right. I'll take that. We'll boost pump off. We'll lean for taxi. Flaps are up. As soon as we clear the runway, we'll get all our lights and everything. So, I hope everybody enjoyed that flight. I just sat here and let the autopilot do most of it. Some landing and that's about it. Takeoff and landing. But it's a beautiful day. Bumps there at the end. Put a slip in. Don't do that very often. And we're left on Echo. We'll go over to ground. There, all right, let's go over to ground. Landing checklist. Flaps are good. Carb heat is off. Mixture, lean. Pitot heat is off. Landing and taxi. Strobes. Fuel boost pump is off. Excellent.
Quad City ground, Comanche 6928 Papa, Echo, and 27 looking to go to the T's.
Comanche 6928 Papa, Quad City ground, taxi via Echo Delta, cross runway 23.
Echo Delta cleared across 23, 6928 Papa.
All right. Elliot's Moline, Comanche 6928 Papa.
This is Elliot Moline, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. Could I get the 100 low lead truck at hangar Echo 8 when the guys get a minute?
Yes, sir, I'll send them right over.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a good week.
Hey, ground 6426, is 13 available.
Space 5426, 13 is available. Would you like that?
Yes, sir. Could we plan for that?
You can expect that.
Thank you kindly.
Southern gentleman. Both ends are clear.
Quad City ground. John Deere 59 ready to taxi with Mike.
John Deere 59, Quad City ground, runway 9 taxi hotel.
Hotel, runway 9, John Deere 59.
Wisconsin 3927, Quad City clearance. Good afternoon. Cleared to O'Hare Airport as filed. Maintain 4,000. Expect 9,010 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 125.905, squawk 4301. Wisconsin 3927, read back correct.
AC 5426, taxi.
I'm sorry, say again.
AC 5426, ready to taxi, information Mike.
AC 5426, Quad City ground, runway 13, taxi via Foxtrot.
13 via Foxtrot, AC 5426.
Okay, what is it? 16.7 remaining. So 16.7 remaining. That's what it says. I know what I started out with. Okay, so throttled idle, radio equipment. Hold on. Avionics master, autopilot. Autopilot is off. Avionics master is off. Color, drop, mixture. $16.6. 16.6. That's it, folks. We'll see y'all later.